stadium, there is no football. There's no football.
There's no. Really, that's true. There's no football. Yeah. Yeah.
On a side note, Ahmed, this week we lost our Cranes legend, that is the late Jimmy Chirunda. He was walking around La Grande Hotel and he actually collapsed dead. So the entire country this morning, he was buried, that was on Wednesday at around 1:30 p.m. But of course, the question is, when are we going to take care of our heroes? Because Chirunda died a poor man. According to the news and what we saw got from the family, he died as a poor man. So what would you suggest for government to do to save such sports icons?
You know, like I told you before, Ruben.
Yes.
Sports must be, emphasized. If it's emphasized, these, and if it's promoted, these people will, they will have something that will keep them going, because if that's a legend, yeah. I'm sure he had some skills that he could probably pass on. But I don't really know the gentleman, but maybe he was a bit old. Was he an elderly man or something?
Yeah, he was actually, he was a football player who played, for the national team. He was captain for 10 years. He played for KCCA, for Express, and of course SC Villa. So he was captain for the Cranes for 10 years. And within the 10-year tenure as captain, we played in the Africa Cup of Nations in 1978. He was our captain, and he went up to the final. That was Jimmy Chirunda. But he gave us a lot. So what I wanted to get from you was what government should do to ensure that when our sportsmen from, let's say, athletics, taekwondo, football, retire from the sport, how can we prepare them? How do we prepare them how do we send them off into retirement? Should we get a package from government that caters for them and their contribution, or we should just ignore and say, after all, we shall get a fresh talent?
Promote sports.
Yes.
Develop sports, and if these two things are being are put in place, there will be enough fund. So by the time someone retires from any discipline, yeah, they have probably paid some money, and when they are outside there, they start their own clubs, and maybe that will keep them going. They still have an income coming in. The government does not need to give them package. Just promote sports, develop it, pay them well, and put some some plans in place. So these people, even if I retire tomorrow, if I was an active competitor in the ring, when I retire and open up my own club, okay, I know it will go ahead and there will be some funding coming in, and maybe I will be able to make money from my own club, from my students or players to keep me going. But if this is not done and you're just waiting for players to come from Olympics with medals, to come from world championships, only when they make you happy you look at them, that is a crappy system that people will all die broke. That's it. Okay, that's a good point, Ahmed. Now let's go to taekwondo. You mentioned about the structure. You mentioned about supporting sports as a source of revenue, or as a source of let's say inspiration or tourism, sports tourism. So as a taekwondo expert, what have you done for that sport to ensure that it's promoted, to ensure that the young taekwondo players are protected? I was a competitor,
okay, an
active competitor. When I retired from the ring due to the injuries I got, yeah, I passed. I decided to pass my skills to the young generation.
Okay.
From 2011 to 2019, my team was #1 in East Africa.
Okay.
And I can say that again and again. And they know it. Even in Uganda, no team could match mine if they were not cheating, they would never make it anywhere. My team was always number one.
Okay.
But because the government has no plans, has no structure in place, like the president said, they only work for their families, for their children and grandchildren. That's why sports or anything in Uganda will never go anywhere.
No, but Ahmed, there I would disagree with you. The president is very clear. When there's a structure in place, he really respects that. And when our athletes come back here with medals, the president hosts them for a dinner and they get new cars, they get money from him, his appreciation. So for him, he has done his part. Now the problem is actually the structure. National Council of Sports, what have they come up with? We are still following the act that was put in place about 30 years ago. So you can't blame the head of state for that. You cannot.
Ruben.
Yes.
Who appoints the ministers?
No, let's not go there. Okay, let's not go there. Let's not go there. Let's stick.
If there's a structure, in place,
let us stick to taekwondo. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Let's stick to taekwondo. Let's stick to taekwondo.
Okay.
What have you put in place to ensure that you as a former taekwondo player, you as a former taekwondo coach, or you are still a coach, I believe, what have you put in place to promote the sport anywhere in the world?
I have promoted the sport in Uganda.
Thank you very much.
I've been taking my teams to competitions. But if we don't have a structure which is being followed keenly, we are going nowhere. Sports will never grow, will never develop. Around the world, right now where I am in Munich,
yes.
I found a taekwondo club. I went there just to work out, and I told them what I've been doing in Uganda. I showed them my qualifications and all that.
Yeah.
A week later, they told me they really need me, and they're trying to get the government, the German government, to have me here in Munich, so that I can develop the club within the district.
Okay.
But and they are really trying. They've contacted the MP in this area. They contacted the president of the sports department in this area, and they're all being responsive. That is something we don't have in Uganda. People are just planted in offices, and they're eating money for years and years, growing bellies, and no one cares.
Okay.
On the other hand, Ruben.
Yes.
I would like to maybe thank the president for sacking Honorable Charles Bakabulindi, who was in office for 25 years and did nothing for Uganda, all Ugandans.
Okay.
But anyway, he's still somewhere. Maybe he will send to another ministry. However, I don't know what the new minister is going to do for us.
Actually,
I don't know laid down any plan yet.
When Alabobua came in, I'll report to you, when he came in, the first thing he did was to appoint the board, National Council of Sports Board, which is led by Chairman Don Lukari. So I think the sports minister is on the ground. The new sports minister is on the ground, and of course he's looking forward to working with the team that has Mark Sally, Don Lukari, and other NCS board members. So I believe that was a good that was a plus for him to appoint a new National Council of Sports board. So from there, we are going to go into the structures, look at various federations, what they have got to come up with, what they are going to put on board. So I think Honorable Obua is doing a great job in that ministry, and we expect a lot from him. So salute him for that as well.
No, for me, I will not salute him, because sacking the old members out of the council.
Yes.
It's not a good sign that he's going to do good work.
Oh.
He was probably sent in there to go clean their house. But still, it's rice. We had brown rice, and now it's white rice, but it's still rice.
Okay.
By now, he should be able to tell you, or by the time he sacked those members, he could have told he could have told Ugandans that, you know what, this is what the problem was, and to solve this problem, we are sacking this old member. The money was given here, and this is what these guys used it for, or it wasn't clear what the money was used for, but I and my team are going to do A, B, C, D. But now Ugandans, stop appreciating people too quickly like that.
No, but that was a plus, Ahmed. It was a plus. Come in the office, change a few things.
Are you his friend?
No, I'm not. I'm not his friend. I'm not. I'm just looking at where he has done right. I will appreciate that. I will not be pointing at him every time he's not delivered. So at least for the first 5 months in office, he has delivered. There's a new council in place.
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope so. But on like a sportsman, it is so painful to see other sportsmen dying like Mr. Chirunda, you said.
Yes.
You know, you work so hard for the country, you represent the country, and there is nothing like really meaningful in place for the whole nation. If you give me a car and millions of shillings today, and you have not put proper structures and followed it keenly for tomorrow's generation and many generations to come, we are going nowhere. Whatever you give me today, if I cannot maintain the car you're giving me, I will sell it after a few months. And this I want to, and please don't put a stop on. I want to send it directly to the president. You are the father of this country, so you need to care. You have all it takes to have people follow up on what's happening in each ministry. If they don't do that, trust me, the only problem is Ugandans are cowards. But if they were not cowards, we would do whatever it takes to make sure that what we want is done when we want it done.
Ahmed, I have a few messages here coming in from people who are watching you live from all over the world. One of them is actually Major David Chibirango, who says that you have a point when you say that we need fresh ideas in sports, and of course we need sports administrators who are patriotic. For him, he supports what you are saying, but for me, I would not support the fact that you were saying that the president has got to act. For him, he has done his part. Every time the athletes come back here with medals, he has delivered. He has really, really appreciated them. So it's people like you and others who don't appreciate. That is your own problem. Then another person here.
He should be asking. He should asking questions. Why do we only have 1 or 2 athletes out of 42 million Ugandans that are coming up every now and then? We need to see a team.
Ahmed, I will tell you, it's not about numbers. It's about efficiency. Nigeria went to Olympics in Rio. They had over 100 plus athletes. They went back home with just 1 bronze medal. The team we had that went to Rio, even if it's okay, let's say Rio, not Rio, but the team that was in Rio, the recent Olympics, we came back home with more than 2 gold medals. Recently in Doha, that is Qatar, the national athletic championship, actually the international championship. You saw Cheptegei and Nakai come back home with medals. It's not about numbers. It's about the efficiency. It's about who can bring a medal. They can have a small team that can deliver. So, for me, I don't blame the president, because the first time we had a gold medal from Olympics was 72. Now, 34 years of his presidency, we've had more than 1 gold medal in international tournaments. So what are you talking about?
Have you ever had a national selection for sports in the country, in Uganda?
What do you mean?
National team selection.
That's for the coach that's for the coach to come up with a team.
It should be held nationwide, and you as journalists must know about these things. We need to have national team selections openly in the public.
How?
We need to have soccer players selected every year. We need to have taekwondo players selected every year and prepare for at least all African games. Have you ever had Ugandan teams go to all African games?
Of course, yes, we've had
Or you just had one team? But how many teams?
It's about qualifying. Ahmed, we qualify.
The selection process. What was the selection process?
Those who qualified are the ones who who represent Uganda. They participate. They represent Uganda. You first qualify to represent. They don't handpick you. They don't handpick you.
That's at a national level. That's at a national level. You need to have team selections, national team selections, every year. You need to have soccer matches organized in which you will select the best athletes to go to the national team. How many times have you heard that nationally?
Of course, a few.
How many national teams do you have in the country? Apart from the Uganda Cranes, the soccer team you have. How many national teams do you have? The She Cranes, the Uganda Cranes. Is that the only sport that we have in Uganda?
We recently had a boxing team that went to play in Marrakesh in Morocco, led by President Mohanji. We have got athletes travel to be part of Olympics.
I know the boxers, and I can tell you all these clubs are crippling. Before people, federations would go to the National Council of Sports and ask for funding to have their teams prepared, and they tell them we don't have such a budget. And if you want us, we can support you a little bit. You will sign for 5 million, you will sign for 10 million, but you'll get 5 million. We don't have this much. We will give you 3 million, but you sign for 7 million. Teams, we have more sporting teams in the country. But do we really have leaders who are enthusiastic, idealistic, and all that to take sports forward?
Yes, we have them. Yes, we have
that kind of leader in the country, you will have more sporting teams come up. You will have Uganda national teams representing the country.
Okay, Ahmed, let me get your final remarks because maybe we'll get to some other time and discuss sports administration in the country. But I believe that there are times when you actually went overboard. You were wrong to say that His Excellency the President is not supporting sports. The structure is very clear. When you come back home with a medal, the President is going to support you. Is going to appreciate you. So now it's about us, the administrators of sports in the country. That is about the President. Let's say for Athletics Federation, but they are the ones to come up with the proper ideas. So they say them to the President, and the President is ready to act on that. So you don't blame the President for that. You don't do that. I mean, I think you're being naive. You're being you're losing your head. Anyway, Ahmed, your final remarks.
My final remarks is
on condition no attacking. Do not attack anybody. Just have the final remarks. No attacking anyone here.
Afraid? What are you afraid of, Ruben? You're a journalist. These are the things that you need to get on your show, on your program, so that someone can hear them out. My final remarks are: as Ugandans, we need to reunite. Stop these discriminations among tribes, among, I don't know, who is rich, who is poor. When we become together and demand for what we want, for what we need to be done, trust me, we will have them in place. I can tell you that. The problem is Ugandans are manipulated so easily by political leaders who are also leeches. They have their own agendas we don't know. We can fight for what we need, and we will get it. If you fight to get the President Museveni out of office,
that's not sports. I've got to let you go. Ahmed, I've got to let you go. Have yourself a good day. There is no way we can discuss that. That's not sports. We need to discuss sport, and that is not sports. So I've got to let you go, and I go to Jagena, my brother here, to discuss more about GMU Extra. Good morning, Jagena. Good morning.
Well, thank you so much, and a very good morning. But I think you also need to invite me someday. Okay. I don't know whether I should also come to you through Zoom or Skype or something like that, and I also talk like the Ahmeds from someone else about sports.
So you think Ahmed is right?
No, he's not entirely right, but he has some very pertinent issues to talk about. Just a few days I talked to you here and I told you that one of the problems with sports, especially football, in this country is we use dealers. Our leaders are dealers, and that's what is actually failing in sports. I had a stint in the 2016 edition of Olympics in Rio, and I was talking to the Kenyan president of Athletics Kenya, Ndugu Tukei, and I was telling me how they do their things and how they actually manage to get and to marshal many of these medals and all the things. We've gotten medals, yes, like you said, during this period, but you see, this is individual effort. When it comes to football, we was talking about a very important thing, which is national selections. I remember when I was still playing football as a young man in school. We used to have what they called, we used to have, at village level, yes, at village level, yes, I agree. But you see, that's where it starts, and we used to have those post-primaries rotating, going round and all the things and finding, but today, because we have dealers, money moving to where is it getting contracts, you from start times and all these things. That's why you're actually even failing to manage a very small thing like the league here. For example, just look at what has happened. You have YOLOs here, which you're flouting. Now you hear that Magogo today has done that. You have teams where you decide that they should actually be relegated. Then again, you change the laws to favor somebody. That's a problem with our sports. If you set your standards and set your laws and say this is where it should be, you saw what happened with Hearts in Scotland. The team was relegated. They went to court. But you see, the holding there still stands and say this is what actually you have to go by. You don't have these issues of Hearts was some big team someday, so they can't be relegated and all the things. Juventus was stripped of 3 trophies. 3 trophies. They had to go back to the league, and every game that they were winning was actually in deficit. They had to accumulate a lot of these things because of when they cook out for match fixing and all the things. And it works and it helps, and that's why their craze of that invisible has actually risen and gone there. But today, Ruben comes to the national team because Ruben went to this particular school, because Ruben is a brother to Major Chibirango, because Ruben now Jagana is not a brother to Major Chibirango, and he has a talent, doesn't feature on the national team. So I think are
you being a Nugu Banton of sorts?
Yes, with sports I will be.
With a Nugu Banton.
Yes. Because that is what's and you see, the other thing that you also need to know, we need to separate Uganda Cranes from FUFA. Uganda Cranes is not an extension, it's not an annex of FUFA. Uganda Cranes belongs to me and Ratoro and NASA and Famba and Fakul Rama and Eddie Mwes, and that's it's ours. FUFA is your own organization. But the problem is, we think FUFA is Uganda Cranes. That's why whenever Uganda Cranes are supposed to play, we are running to State House to get some money today, we are running to State House to get money tomorrow, and all the things. Which other national team does what FUFA, what Uganda Cranes does? Whenever they have a match to play, then they go to the president to get some money. Whenever you're supposed to play, then we run to State House to Agare Million Divina. Then they give us something. Then the other day, and it becomes as if we are vending the team, as if it's deplorable, Ruben. So we need to own Uganda Cranes as our own team. I am happy and I'm ready to actually fund Uganda Cranes if there is some contribution for the national team, as long as it's a national team, not somebody's money making something. No, we'll not allow you to do that.
Okay, we're going to come back.
And very soon we're actually going to join the struggle. Very soon, we are coming.
You and who?
We Ugandans, patriotic Ugandans. That man
Which struggle?
That man talked about
which struggle your agenda?
To redeem FUFA and Uganda Cranes.
Okay.
Yes.
What is your agenda?
Redemption. I am coming to redeem. It is ours. It doesn't belong to you. Uganda Cranes is our team.
Okay. The sports minister, Honorable Mobua, is actually watching this show, and we appreciate that he's always watching UBC, and he has got some key points from the Skype call for Ahmed, who's in Munich, and of course our very own Jagenda here, who says that FUFA should not be part of the Cranes. FUFA should be FUFA, and they should deal with sports administration. Now the national team is going to a part of FUFA.
No, it's not. The Uganda Cranes is not a property of FUFA. It's not their annex. It's not their money minting something. It's our national team. It's our national team.
You the who?
I want to see a Semakola playing. I want to see.
But Semakola is not talented.
That's what I'm saying.
It's only good at having.
I want to see Anacol playing. I want to see a Triagenda playing. I want to see.
They're not good enough.
A Ratoro playing. No, but they are there. You've not sought them out.
Okay.
You've not sought them out, but they are there.
Okay, I've got to go, Jagenda. I've got to go. Of course, when we discuss sport with Jagenda here, we might not end. But I thank you so much for watching UBC TV. I thank you, Jackie Dewey, for watching UBC TV as well. And then I thank you, Bossa Haruna Inaria. Hey, every morning it's not easy to wake up with us. I salute you for always watching UBC TV. To meet again on Monday, we'll be here at 6:30 a.m. rather. We'll be here to give you more, but of course, up next, the DMU Extra and Jagenda Smoke has a lot for you in store. What do you have for us today?
Mental health and psychosocial issues with the experts. COVID yalwaziza abantu emitwe. Yes, COVID yalwaziza abantu emitwe.
Who is mentally disturbed here?
No, when the experts explain, you actually find yourself nganawe na wogwa.
Have yourselves a lovely day. Good morning. Up next is Jagenda Smoke with DMU Extra.